Wow, 600 subscribers. I really thank you guys for your support of the channel, and I'm very happy that so many of you seem to find the videos that I make helpful or interesting or entertaining or what have you. So backpacking gear, I would not want to be without while hiking the Via Transilvanica. Before I get into gear specifically, I want to talk about three things that I think are more important than gear. And the first one of those is be as fit as you can before you start hiking. I would really advise not having the attitude that you're going to hike yourself into good shape. You're just going to wait until you show up and then do that. I think it can work, but I think that's a good recipe for just hiking yourself into injury and frustration. So that'd be the first thing. The second thing I would say is learn as much Romanian as you can before you come. So again, don't think you're going to come here and you're going to learn Romanian as you go. If you're really good with language, that may work great, but it wouldn't work for me. The Romanian that I knew when I came here, I would say I haven't added a huge amount to that. I've gotten better at being able to access what I know, for sure. But as far as like learning new Romanian, not as much. So people will tell you, or people told me, oh, you don't need to worry about it. Everybody, or there'll be plenty of people that speak English. And there are a decent number of people that speak English, but that is by no means the case that you're going to be in situations where you're not going to need to know some Romanian to get by. So that'd be my second major piece of advice. And the third thing would be have a positive mental outlook for what you're doing. I mean, there's going to be times when, you're hurting. There's going to be times when, well, if you're going solo, when you're lonely, there's going to be times when you're hungry, you're cold, you're hot, your feet hurt, your legs hurt, you name it. But if you have a positive mental outlook, like, man, I get to walk across all of Romania. I mean, how many people have a chance to do that? Or if you're doing a section hike, whatever it is, just to have that outlook is sort of the overriding thing, and that's going to help you get through. But to get to specifically gear, the number one thing, well, there's the obvious gear, right? Boots and a sleeping bag and that kind of thing. So we're not talking about that. But the number one thing for me that I would not want to be without is an umbrella. An umbrella, and very few people backpack with umbrellas, but an umbrella like this keeps you so much cooler than if you were using sunscreen and a hat. I mean, just to not have to wear a hat, to not have to fool with sunscreen and it getting in your eyes and having to reapply it and all that. And you save the weight of the sunscreen too, which isn't that big of a deal. But, I mean, this is just really a game changer. Of course, you can use it for rain also, but I mean, mainly what you're going to be using it for is sun. And I mean, I don't worry if it's going to be the middle of the day, it's going to be 95 degrees. I mean, not that this umbrella keeps me cool at 95, but it is really, really helps. And it used to, the original one, I think that was like this, like black on the inside, silverized on the outside, just mechanical operation, was made by a company called Go Light, which doesn't exist anymore, I don't think. But this particular one is made by Eurosherm, and I found it to be as good a quality as the one that was made by Go Light. I think I might even still have my original Go Light from quite a while ago. The second thing for me, and I know this is super personal, and tons of people wouldn't dream of hiking without hiking in shorts, but is long pants. And I have a very lightweight pair of long pants. They're Mountain Hardwear. I think they're called Trail Sender. I don't believe they make this particular model anymore, but a similar, just really lightweight pair of pants. What do I like about them? Well, I don't have to worry as much about ticks. I don't have to worry as much about poison ivy or poison oak. My legs don't get dirty. I don't have to worry about my calves getting sunburned or putting sunscreen on my legs. And for me, they're a little bit less mobile in the knee, I guess. But as lightweight as these are, it's not even something that I notice. I just love being able to not have to worry about those other things. So that'd be the second piece of gear that I would not want to be doing the Via Transilvanica without. And the third thing relates to foot care, and that would be to have, this is something very simple, is rubbing alcohol or 70% isopropyl alcohol or even hand sanitizer was going to work fine. And you know, every evening when you take your boots off, every morning, or you know, during the day when you're taking your boots off to let your feet dry out, is use some rubbing alcohol, and that'll keep your feet dry and it'll really help to prevent blisters, because a blister sounds like it's kind of a minor thing, and it is a tiny little thing on your foot or whatever, but it can really cause problems when you're trying to make, you know, 15, 20, 25 miles in a day, and you've got that thing, that pain, and that's where all of your mental energy is going, is into that little thing that's hurting on your foot. So that's a big help. And then as far as footwear goes, I should talk about footwear, I guess. I mean, I'm not advising anybody to wear the kind of shoes that I wear. I've gone from, when I started backpacking, from wearing, you know, full grain leather boots, very heavy, very waterproof, very strong ankle support, very heavy, to, you know, all the way through down to wearing just trail runners. And then I've kind of come back to just wearing something that's in the middle. So it's kind of like a hybrid, like a mid boot that has some leather and some cloth and has some flexibility, and that works for me. I did, when I went to the trail runners, I mean, they're great, they're light, but I tended to get plantar fasciitis. And when I was doing, one summer I did the Camino de Santiago and the GR11 up in the high Pyrenees, and ended up with really tough to get rid of plantar fasciitis. And I'm not saying the cause was the trail runners. I mean, the cause would be a combination of weakness on my part plus the trail runners. But whatever you choose to wear, make sure you have put in sufficient miles to be confident that you're going to be able to hike day in and day out, you know, whatever your goal distance is. You know, don't count on, you know, those rest days as being days when you're going to get everything back. So, you know, or like one day off is going to be enough for you to heal up, because it's not going to be. I mean, I haven't taken any rest days at all. I started out fit and, you know, reasonably fit for me anyway, and I just haven't needed them. I mean, I could take a rest day, I guess, as a preventative measure, but I just haven't felt the need, and I'd rather be hiking. So yeah, so those are 3 specific items of backpacking gear I wouldn't want to be without, and then also those other 3 things that I mentioned at the beginning, which I think are more important. Again, I've said that before, but it's really hard to overemphasize how beneficial it is to arrive being fit, knowing as much of the language as you can, you know, however much you have time to learn, and just always trying to have a positive mental outlook toward what you're doing. So I hope that's been a helpful video. And again, I want to just thank you all for 600 subscribers. It's pretty cool, very exciting for me. Thank you all so much. Take care. God bless.